Today's video is being sponsored by Instant Gaming. Play smart, pay less. Thank you so much to Instant Gaming for sponsoring today's video. With being a console gamer my entire life, I've only recently moved over to PC gaming, and Instant Gaming has been a lifesaver in allowing me to purchase games I've always wanted to play at a reasonable price. Instant Gaming offers discounts on all the most current titles and has massive discounts on our favourite Frontier games, including Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo and Jurassic World Evolution. Make sure to click the link above or below in the description to get some amazing games at affordable prices. Again, thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video, but without further ado, let's hop into the video, shall we? Hello, it's Mike coming at you with another Planet Zoo Console Edition video. Welcome back to Eden Gardens Zoological Park. Now you may all be asking yourselves, who is this strange person and what is this zoo we are looking at? Is this a new content creator? Is this a brand new zoo? I know it's been a while, okay? I have these big grand plans when I start these projects and I'm going to get them all done and it's all going to be hunky-dory, and then I get sidetracked. This time by Baldur's Gate, and I haven't actually played Planet Zoo for about a month. I can't remember the controls. I haven't touched this game in about a month with the exception of doing the odd spotlight here or there. But we are finally back, and now we're going to try and get this zoo finally finished. Originally, I wanted to have this done before the first DLCs came out. Well, that didn't happen, did it? So let's try and get this finished before the next lot of DLCs come out. Because I have got future plans, I have got more zoos planned in the future, and I now know what I want to do today. We are going to relocate one of our enclosures to make room for a modular gift shop. So without further ado, let's hop in and make a start on this, shall we? Right, so here we are in the zoo, and we're just next to the crocodile enclosure. This is the enclosure that I want to move today. Now, in hindsight, when I very first built this, I didn't really take into consideration just how close to the border's edge it was actually going to be. And ever since I did it, I've always regretted it a little bit because it comes right up parallel to that build line, and it does limit me quite a bit as to what I can do. So we're actually going to move this over a little bit, and we'll also move it up to give us a little bit more room behind here. So we are going to have to put the crocs into the trade centre, and then what we're going to do in that open space that we've got is we're going to put a gift shop, because it seems to make the most sense to have a gift shop towards the main entrance of a park. You find this in most theme parks or zoos that they will have their gift shop right next to the main entrance, so pretty much you're forced to walk through it when you leave the park. But let's grab these crocs and we'll put them in the trade centre. So we've already got 2 of them in there at the moment anyway, but we've still got 3 more, so we're going to place them just in the trade centre because we don't want the crocodiles escaping as I start deleting this, because apparently it's really bad for business if crocodiles start eating your guests. Who knew? It'd be like Jurassic Park or something. But right, let's click on the border. That was the wrong button, Matty. I told you I'd forgotten the controls. See, I wasn't joking. There we go. If we select that and then we'll click R3 and then we can delete the entire border, and now we can just start deleting all of this, ready to start moving it across. So now we've deleted all of the original enclosure, we can now just place it back down. Thankfully, I have got this saved as a blueprint, so I can just place it back down. This is the first time I'm placing one of my own blueprints back down again. Now, with the recent update on your phone, you can actually go on your phone and see how many people have downloaded your creations. So if you go on to frontierworkshop.com, and then it's got Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo, and you can look at all of the various things that have been uploaded to the workshop, and you can see how many people have liked, how many people have downloaded your creations. This one is still currently on the front page of the Zoo Workshop, which is absolutely insane. Thank you, everybody. And it's had 10,000 downloads. 10,000! That's absolutely insane. In fact, actually, I wonder if I can use that. Maybe I should put in the description, make sure to subscribe to Iron Matty. I actually think that's a 200 IQ play right there. That's the way that I'm going to increase the sub count. Anyway, I'm getting completely sidetracked. So I have turned this around a little bit. So we're going to have multiple viewing areas. The guests will be able to look out of the souvenir shop into the crocodile enclosure. I think I may change where the staff actually access this, but we'll have a look at that a little bit later on. But there we go. We've now got this little area here where the gift shop will be able to go. So if we go into the construction tab, we're going to type in souvenir, so we're just limited to this souvenir shop only, and let's place this down here. We'll also extend it ever so slightly, so we'll put some of these around to extend the shop. I've just noticed I've actually put them the wrong way around, so we'll delete these ones and replace them so it lines up properly. Not that it really matters, because I'm planning on covering up this floor anyway, but little OCD over here had to make sure that it was right anyway. There we go, so we'll delete that one. And that was the wrong button, Matty. I told you that I'd forgotten the controls. There you go, we'll delete them. And I actually think it's a little bit too big. I'm going to delete this back row because it's going to make that walkway just outside the shop way too thin. And part of the idea behind this was to extend that central walkway as you come into the zoo. You don't want it feeling too constricted. So by deleting that back row, we can move it back a little bit and we can ensure there's more room for the guests. And I also think we're going to put a couple of exhibits inside here as well. Just a couple of little different things for the guests to look at as they're inside the shop. And we now need to sort out all of this path. So let's get that done, shall we? With the pathing now sorted, now we can start putting some of these counters and shelving down. Now, I don't want to have these the default in-game colour. I want to try and change this up as much as possible and make it as custom as I possibly can. So we're putting a couple of them down, but I'm actually going to delete these afterwards and then recolour them. I'm sure there's most likely going to be a way where I could have just put them all down and then recolored the entire lot afterwards. That would have been probably the clever thing to do, but it's me and I had to make life hard for myself. I thought maybe going for a bit of a light colour like a yellow on there, but it didn't look right, so I think instead we're going to go a little bit darker, and I don't think the dark green worked, but the dark blue looks a lot better. And now we can start putting some of these down, start filling this shop out. We're going to need to put all the shelves down, we're going to need to put all the products on there. I also think we'll maybe look at building a custom bin with loads of plushies in and things like that. So let's get cracking, shall we? With the front counter now almost finished, now I think we can start putting some shelving coming down the middle of the shop. I do still think that the counters are lacking something a little bit, but I'll come back to them in a moment and we'll start filling out the rest of the shop first. With the shelves now done, now we can start putting some plushies and some things to start filling out these shelves. I think we'll put the plushies on this side and then we'll start putting some jigsaw puzzles on the other side. You may have noticed I've left the middle empty. I've done that intentionally because I want to put something in the middle, like maybe a vase or a centerpiece or something, and I don't want any of the souvenirs blocking its way. I really don't like them white lines going down the centre right now. It makes it look like it's all separate and like it's all been thrown together. So by using some of these wooden planks, we're going to cover all of the top and make it look like it all comes in one piece. With the top now done, now we just need to find something to put right in the centre. I think by using one of these vases and then a small aloe vera plant, sorry, that was My dad used to do that all the time. Hello, Vera. Anyway, if you go into the... I've completely lost what I was saying now. If you go into the construction tab and type in souvenir, you can actually find all of the individual pieces, which means that you can start really placing them around wherever you want to go. Because you've got to imagine that lots of little kids and things like that are going to be messing with these. None of it's going to be straight. It's not going to look all pristine because they're going to knock them over, they're going to knock them on the floor. So by just placing a couple of them around and just like kind of at various different angles, gives it that more realistic effect. On either end, I think we're going to put some umbrella stands. I think we'll use these same stands once again, but we'll put them by the front door, and that's where we'll start putting the posters. Going along the front of the shop, we're just going to start putting some of these bags down, just to start filling out the front of the shop. And then when you're going up to the till and buying all your stuff, you can buy one of these Eden Gardens bags. How awesome is that? And then trying to find a little metal bracket was a nightmare, and it took me ages, but I eventually settled on that small European brass piece. Before moving on to the rest of the shop, I think it'll be a really good idea to start getting the actual foundation of the wall down, because I need to know where I'm going to be putting things alongside. I know I've got the floor, but it's not really a very good visual representation of where I need things to go, and I want to be able to have shelves running along the back wall. So we're going to put that base down, and we're also going to put the gaps in where we're going to put the windows, the entrance for the shop. Unfortunately, and I wish we could change this, you can only have one access point to the shop, so all the guests will start funneling through that one little tiny area there. Of course, you can put multiple access points in as a visual representation, but the guests won't actually use it. They will only come in that one door, which is a little bit sucky. I wish we could do it another way, but it is what it is, and we'll deal with it. It's still an amazing feature, and I love the fact that we can now do this. I'm very much hoping that Planet Coaster 2 and Planet Zoo 2 will have these kind of features. But anyway, getting sidetracked once again. So we're going to start putting these windows in. I'm going to use a different one on this side so the guests can actually look through into the crocodile enclosure. And then we need to go around the entire thing, putting all wooden beams around as a trim, covering up all the in-game assets. After spending longer than I would care to admit actually going around the entire building, placing all of them wooden beams down, we're now finally done. Now we'll start putting a couple of TV screens either side, and we'll swap them to the saltwater crocodiles, so you know what you're going to be looking at when you look out of them windows. That looks different to the actual education boards. I'm going to have a double check of that later on, because I'm sure that's a different image to what the actual education board is. But yeah, I'll have a check of that in a bit. So let's start putting some of these tall hanging shelves along this back wall, and then we can put some more bags and t-shirts on there. I was looking for maybe a bit of a lower down shelf that I could put just below the windows, but there wasn't really anything that was going to work, so I'm just going to leave that empty, and plus it means that the guests will be able to look right out of the window and go up to it, doesn't it? So that's probably for the better anyway. We're going to copy over these shelves over here, so we've got the two different aisles where you're going to be able to get lots. We'll need to copy over the wooden topping once again, and then we'll just change it up a little bit to ensure that it doesn't look like it's just been copied and pasted. Using the same stands that I used for the umbrellas, we're going to copy them over and put them along the front of the shop, and in these ones we're going to place some of the posters. We then need to put the actual posters on the wall. These stand there and you flick through, like choosing which one you want. So we're going to use one of these 2-meter TV screens, and we'll flip it horizontally and vertically and then put it up there. Was it just me as a kid who found it oddly satisfying to just flick through these posters? Like, it made such a nice little clink sound. And I absolutely loved it. I never brought one, but I'd stand there for ages flicking through all of these posters, like of my favourite films and favourite games and things like that. Just something like really therapeutic about it. But anyways, once again, I'm finding myself getting sidetracked. It's just the story of my life. All I ever do is seem to get sidetracked. Right, we've used one of the New World architecture pieces as the back piece, which is holding them all in place. And with the first one done, now we can copy it coming all the way down. And now we just need to go through all of them and just change them up to make them different, make them unique, because obviously they're not going to be the same poster on all of them, are they? Before moving on to the plushie bin, I think we'll just go around and start adding some of these balloons around, and then we can change these balloons. There's a couple of different designs that you can use, and let's have a look at that shelf in that corner. Didn't like that, didn't quite work. But there we go, with the balloons down, now we can start making a work on this bin. So using one of these classic roof trim pieces, we're going to colour that up to blue to make it match up with everything else, and we're basically just going to create a square and then just start filling it with plushies. Even though it's just a square, we still want to make it look a little bit nicer. We're going to put a little bit of decorative things on it, a little bit of trimming, make it look like it actually is held together by something instead of just thrown together. I think rather than just filling the entire thing with plushies, what we'll do is we'll actually put something right in the centre. I'm just trying to find what kind of ornament I'd really like, but I actually think this wolf one is probably the best. So we're going to put that right in the middle, and then we just need something just like hanging down, like a little tiny bit of foliage right in the centre. I think that will actually work really well. So we'll put the middle bit in. There's a little bit of Z fighting with these wood pieces, but that doesn't matter because we're not even going to see these anyway. That's just a bit of a reference point for me, so we can start filling it with plushies. So let's go absolutely nuts, shall we, and start putting loads of these down. After, again, spending way longer than I would like to admit, just putting plushies down only. I swear I'm going to go to bed dreaming of these little things tonight. But we've finally done our box. We're going to once again start taking some of them out, dropping some of them on the floor. And now we can start thinking about covering up the floor. So by placing one piece down, but keeping it on the grid of the shop, and then remove that one piece, and then we can copy all the rest of it, and then we can just lower it to wherever we want it, and it will be guaranteed to line up perfectly. And now we're just going to put our base roof on. Now this is not going to be the final product, don't worry, that is not what it's going to look like at the end result. I am going to do another roof on top of that, but I just wanted to have that flat roof just inside. I do maybe want to put a couple of plants or something on top of there, but I've got a feeling that I'm not going to have the ones I want to use available to me right now, because I haven't actually done the research for the aquatic pack and the twilight pack inside the zoo yet, so I am going to have to make sure that I do that. But we'll put the fans up, we'll put the lights up, and I think for building that is done for today. I really wanted to get all of this done in one episode, but I honestly didn't realise just how big of a job this was going to be. We've got so many notifications at the moment, so I need to keep an eye on some of that. And we also need to think about what animals we're going to put in the exhibits right at the back there. But let's have a look at what research is going on. Jonathan! I haven't seen Jonathan in ages. I've missed you, Jonathan. What are you doing at the moment? We've got everything researched animal-wise, haven't we? So I'm just going to chuck you on some advanced research just for now. We'll put you on the elephants for a moment, and then when we get the exhibit animals, you can then start researching one of them. But let's make sure that our mechanics are actually researching the aquatic theme and the twilight theme, because we are missing some of them building pieces right now, and I do really want to be able to use them. So with that done, now I think we can start thinking about opening this shop. So we're going to need a couple of staff members, aren't we? That was the wrong button, Matty. That was still the wrong button, Matty. Let's just sort the work zone first, because I'm having a special moment right now. Let's have a look. Which one will it be? It's going to be the crocodiles and the wolves. Let's make sure we add this to that. We will have to add the crocodiles back in once I've sorted out all of the staff path and where the staff are going to be coming through. I think they may even actually access the crocodile enclosure maybe from the back of this shop. That's going to be something we'll have to have a look at. But with them all now in and they've been assigned to the work zone, now we can start putting some animals inside these exhibits. So I think we'll put... Shall we use the terrapins? The diamond terrapins. I think that'd be a good idea because they came in the aquatic pack. So let's grab a couple of them. We'll grab that one. Your stats are really good. And then we'll grab that one as well and pop both of them in there. There we go. And then, yeah, that doesn't look too bad at all. And then I think in the other one, I think we'll put in the frogs. So... when I very first started Eden Gardens, back in like episode 1 or 2, and I'd put the exhibit down and then I'd lost all of the data, I'd put some of the frogs in there and then lost it. So they're still on our research page. I've just put the wrong ones in. I've just realised it. It wasn't the American bullfrogs, was it? It was the Goliath frogs I actually needed. I've only just realised as I've just done that. I will make sure I change that because we've already got American frogs in the actual reptile house and we've now got them twice. So yeah, I'll get rid of them and I'll put in the Goliath frogs, the ones that are still on the research tab, and get that fixed. But there we go, it's open. It's actually open and it's working. We've got people walking around. We've got a little bit of wrong path there. I need to fix that. Let's grab our path. There we go, because I've got the curbs turned off and that looks a little bit better. Oh, look at all the people having a look around. It's working. It's finally working. And let's just sort out all of the path that I deleted earlier on. Let's make sure this is all lined up because I don't think they could actually access the prairie dogs or the hippos or anything because I think I deleted all of the path. But I think that's now all done. We've got a couple more notifications. I think they will start disappearing now the path is all in. We've got some vet research done already. That's the sea lions. Jonathan! Get off the elephants and start getting on something else, please. Right, get off them and you can go on the diamond terrapins instead. There we go. Start researching them, please. Thank you. And what other alerts have we got? So we've got the education speakers and boards over here. So they aren't obviously, of course, being accessed. And that picture is different, isn't it? Am I having a moment? It was saltwater crocodiles, wasn't it? It was saltwater crocodiles. I haven't done it wrong. I now need to check now. Let's go in the animal market. Yeah, it was saltwater crocodiles. And that is a saltwater crocodile screen. So yeah, they are actually different. So the education board and the TV screens have got a different picture for the crocodiles. The more you know, eh? And then we've got all these notifications just saying that the speakers and the education isn't reaching. But we'll sort that in the next episode. We'll also sort the roofing for that shop in the next episode. I think we'll go for a similar style of this. We'll try and use this green roof and we'll start putting some decals on it. I think I may adjust the crocodile enclosure a little bit more so it actually comes right up next to the shop or something. So we've still got a lot more work to do. But I'm really excited that we've got this in. So you're going to have to let me know what you all think. But I'm going to be back very soon. Until then, take care, stay safe, look after yourselves, and see you all very soon. Bye, everybody!